Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aries, June 19, 2023. With Saturn turning retrograde today, you ascent see the need to review, reflect, and reorganize your work, long-term plans, or social life and happiness goals in the months ahead. A shift in perspective occurs, and it is wise to consider that increases or expansion may lead to stress rather than joy for the time being. Focusing on what you already have going can be more rewarding. This retrograde cycle lasts until November 4th, and it is best to remind yourself that efforts to build and restructure benefit you in the long run. Also today, you ascent in great shape to dedicate yourself to a particular project or pursuit. You ascent motivated and ready to put in the effort. You might decide to keep your ear to the ground today, as helpful information can surface that further inspires your ideas, dreams, and goals. Yet another major turning point has arrived. Starting today for months on end, Taskmaster Saturn, the planet of karma, life lessons, and stamina, will be in a retrograde phase. He is currently asleep in your solar house of friendships, communities, and groups until November 4, 2023. You may now be reviewing and revising your connections, especially in karmic ways. You may even go back and forth between friends and exes, wondering what the life lesson is. When Saturn is direct, he brings more pronounced tangible tutelage, but for now, he is teaching you internally. Embrace what you are learning because you still have more paths to tread. What do you want to have in your life? It might be time to open up the conversation about financial matters when Mercury in Gemini sextiles Venus in Leo. You may desire a lavish, fun lifestyle, so this will require a little bit of financial planning to figure out what you can do to afford the luxuries of life at your disposal. Then later today, you may feel like it is time to reconsider which aspirations and networking opportunities you may want to assume responsibility for when Saturn stations retrograde in Pisces. The Sun and Moon not only align to create today's new moon in your income sector, but just as you have already reached the beginning of the end of all planetary activity on the income side of the financial fence for the year. A new moon can act as a trigger while giving everything building since Mars returned last August the green light, acting as a trigger or a catalyst but also a chance to draw a new line in the sand as you commit to working with the resources you have. When you want to veer from the healthy path at times, remember that it is how you manage these impulses that really matters. We are not automatons programmed for organic and whole grain. We are human beings who love chocolate cake and whipped cream. A balanced lifestyle is what you are striving for. If you want to indulge, by all means revel in it, just drink a lot of water along with, okay? And respect your craving for carrot juice when that comes along, too. Getting down to business will feel right and good for you today. The essence of vibration will encourage you to take charge of your financial situation and career ambitions. If you are not working in the capacity that you know yourself to be capable of, this is an excellent opportunity for you to do something about it. Further, if your monetary situation is not where you want it to be, look for constructive ways to improve it. There was always going to be a new moon at some point during the Sun's month-long visit to your income sector, but it is the timing that makes this more significant. This is a day for new beginnings or to draw a new line in the sand, just as the Sun and the asteroid Juno, the Queen of Commitment, are spending their last weekend here aligned and just 7 days after Mercury returned with the smart head for money needed to get your head in the game. With all planetary activity on the income side of the financial fence over by the end of the month, this is a chance to marshal all your resources. The dwarf planet Ceres is spending her last weekend in your romantic sector at a friendly aspect to Pluto, a week after the planet of change and revolution retrograded back into an adventurous part of your chart. As well as bringing together a mix of romance, adventure, and nostalgia, this is making the final days of Ceres' deep dive into your heart's needs and priorities some of the most insightful. Our eyes in the sky. The Sun shares a trine with Chiron this afternoon, giving us a chance to reconnect with our true selves and heal our egos a bit. This aspect can also help us reconnect with our voice, so take some time to journal in the morning if you can. This can also help you consolidate your deepest desires with your personal image. You should be able to move through fears and self-doubt in favor of working toward personal goals. Identity and emotion combine to bring us strength and comfort. The fiery energy is putting us into high gear when it comes to motivation. It might be difficult to sleep as you look for ways to work toward a better future. Unfortunately, an opposition between Venus and Pluto threatens to undo some of the good ego work we accomplished earlier in the day. The reality of the effort that we need to put into our dreams might be magnified and bring self-doubt to the surface. If you find these issues coming on, take a step back and relax. If you work well into the night, you might suffer from burnout and begin to question yourself. Drink some herbal tea and get a good night's rest so you can get back to work in the morning. Instead of turning our emotional radar outward, we go inward. This recalibration helps us to make breakthroughs about our character and behaviors. It can even enlighten us as to why we use pattern recognition as a mechanism for safety and security. An interest in our psychological workings will also make us curious about how others tick. Yet, where our probing might ordinarily be considered intrusive, others welcome our questions now, as they are likely conducting their own personal examinations. Following this aspect, the moon enters a void period lasting until after nightfall, suggesting we avoid starting new ventures. As many of us will be asleep at this hour, we should expect pleasant dreams. We may gain subconscious insights of spiritual or moral significance, helping us to tap into our idealistic side. The emotional highs we access should linger after we wake up, and we can take these good vibes with us as we start our day. Venus speaks to how we engage with love on the material plane, while Neptune speaks to how we access transcendent, mystical, divine love. When the two link up in a harmonious aspect, we literally feel love all around us. This aspect grants us gratitude for our circumstances and makes us want to share, connect with, and give back to those who have touched our lives in a positive way. This can also be an excellent transit for listening to music or attending concerts, museums, or films. Above all, this is a time for physical relaxation and mental and emotional thankfulness. Any interpersonal struggles that you try to cover up float to the surface now, and you have a hard time ignoring them under this self-reflective retro motion.